The thing that struck me when I first came to Louisiana and spent my first 4 years strictly in what you would call church work was how irrelevant much of my preaching was when trying to preach to people who were hungry, trying to teach Christian morality to a family of 12 living in a 2-room house. And I see that there's a close association between taking care of the needs of the body and administering to the spiritual needs of people. Delcombe here is a fishing town. That's where most of the people earn their livelihood. And yet there's not one black person who owns a boat. And we discussed the possibility of getting loans from the Farmers Home Administration for them to buy a boat. They finally granted a loan to a group of 3. And last year happened to be a bumper crop for shrimp and oysters, and we were hoping to get the boat at the beginning of the season, but with all the red tape, the loan didn't come through till actually at the end of the season, and they finally got the boat. We have found that you have to start where the people are, deal with the problems that they consider urgent, and then that way you can get them involved. And it was from that idea that we started what today is called Southern Consumers Cooperative, whereby members, people who wanted to become members, would have to pay $5 entrance fee. Then they would sign a subscription contract whereby they would invest a minimum of $300. We got the idea of why not a statewide organization where people all over the state would be able to join, and then from that money we could go into a variety of businesses. Last year we bought a piece of property a couple of blocks down in which we hoped to build our own gasoline station. And after we bought the piece of property, this station came available, and we decided that it would be good for us to lease this station for a couple of years and see whether we could really draw the patronage that would make it worthwhile for us to build our own. Very few people realize the psychological damage that has been done the black man because of racism in this country. And we find in black businesses it's very difficult to get black customers because of the psychological damage. Too many black people think that the white man's gas is better than the black man's gas. The white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. And it's an educational process that we have to go through, trying to educate the people to patronize their own businesses. The bakery idea was to produce a quality fruitcake, and it was, at that time, we had several guidelines. We knew that we had little business experience, little management know-how. We didn't have too much capital, and we wanted a specialty item, something that we could start small and had hopes of growing big. Well, this year we've made the first breakthrough. Maricini is a candy company out of New York, and we've received an order from them for 10,000 2-pound fruitcakes, which actually is more than our total production last year of fruitcake. And we're hoping to land 2 other large orders like that that will establish a sound foundation for us so that we'll be able really to produce fruitcake 6 months out of the year. In Louisiana, we have the highest rate of interest, 42%. And it's the poor people who really have to pay that. So we got people together, talked about the problem, and then they decided to start saving their money, and from the money that they saved, they would borrow at a cheap rate of interest.
The People's Enterprise Loan Company, Incorporated, became a reality sometime in 1964. It was decided by the members that poor people are having a hard time getting ready cash from the local lending operations due to low income.
Most of the loans are for low-income families, and they haven't had any business experience before, and most of them can't qualify to get loans anywhere else. So usually it's used as a sort of business training for them too. So while they borrow, they invest. Each month for every $100 they borrow, they invest $1 in either People's Enterprise or the Cooperative.
Well, this is one of the largest areas in the country that grows sweet potatoes, or they grow more in this area than they do any other area in the country.
The 1965 potato harvest was extremely poor, and many of the farmers had to sell their sweet potatoes for between 50 and 75 cents for a crate of good potatoes. And we would talk about shipping our own sweet potatoes and forming an organization for that purpose. And out of that grew the Grand Marie Co-op. We got some technical assistance from Father McKnight at Southern Consumers, and this is the beginning of the third season of the Cooperative. We've had up to 500 people who patronize the Cooperative at least once during that period.
The first year they hired them a local broker. This broker, he knew that they were green in the business, and he took advantage of them. And they contacted me about the first of the year, and I came here with them, and last year they were selling on consignment, and 1 or 2 loads that the brokers sold at the other end, they didn't get anything out of them. We sell A&P, one of the largest, Kroger, Safeway, firms like that.
Well, the thing that has really amazed me in this whole self-help activity is the hostility that is created and how people feel threatened when poor people start helping themselves. We've been accused of being communists. We've had a motion passed in the state legislature to investigate us. We've been investigated by the State Un-American Activity Committee, 2-day hearing in Lafayette. The DA has raided our office, seized our books. We had to go into federal court. We applied for a temporary restraining order from the local federal judge, but because of the local politics, he didn't want to become involved. We had to go to the Court of Appeals, where we did get a temporary restraining order, forcing him to hold a hearing. And since then, the local politicians have, I think, gotten respect for us now, and the harassment is undercover and not as open as it has been in the past. In this society, we are in need of genuine social and economic changes of institutions. The way people think and act have to be changed. The way the black man thinks about himself has to be changed. The way the white person thinks about black people have to be changed. And this change can only be brought about through small groups of people dealing with the problems, changing their own mentality, and then slowly working in the community, enlisting the assistance of other people.